Okay, so now that we've listened to some examples of inversions in real life music, let's go back to analyzing inversions. So, labeling them between Roman numerals versus lead sheet symbols is a bit different. If they're in first inversion, which means the third is on the bottom, you add either 6 or 6-3. If it's in second inversion, which means the fifth is on the bottom, that means you add just a 6-4. So let's do some practice. Convert these chords into Roman numerals. If you have a minor triad on scale degree 6, so let's do that first. Scale degree 6 would be VI, and since it's minor, it should be lowercase. First inversion, 6. Or you write lowercase 6, 6-3. If you have an augmented triad on scale degree 3, 3 is III, so it's capital in this case, and then a plus sign for augmented, second inversion, add 6-4. C, major triad on scale degree 5 in first inversion. So scale degree 5 would be a V, major is uppercase. In first inversion, either 6 or 5, 6-3. If it's a diminished triad on scale degree 7, it's lowercase VII, degree sign for diminished, and then second inversion is again 6-4. So there is a reason for these numbers 6, 6-3, and 6-4, and I'll show you over, let's say here. So let's say we're looking at the C major triad, the root, third, and fifth, that would be C, E, G, and that would be root position because the root is on the bottom. Now let's say we're in first inversion. That means the third would be on the bottom, which is E. So above it you'd have a G and a C. Well, between E and G, that's a third interval, and between E and C, that's a sixth interval. So 6-3. But then, over time, composers got a little bit lazy, as, let's face it, all humans do sometimes. They shortened 6-3 to just 6. And that's why we have 6 or 6-3 as both being totally valid ways to label first inversion in Roman numerals. And then it's the same concept for second inversion. If it's in second inversion, that means the fifth is on the bottom, so G is on the bottom, and above it C and E. Between G and C, there's a fourth interval, and then between G and E, that's a sixth interval. So 6-4. Now, for lead sheet symbols, it's even easier because you don't have to figure out which note is on the bottom. Is it the third or the fifth? If it's the third on the bottom, is it first or whatever? You don't even have to know which inversion it is. You only have to know that the root is not on the bottom. The chord is not in root position. So for any inversion, it doesn't matter if it's first or second or third inversion or whatever, you just add slash, and then you add the note that's on the bottom. So for example, let's do C major again. Your lead sheet symbols. If it's C major in root position, you just write a capital C. If it's in first inversion, you write a capital C, so the root is C and it's major, and then you write the slash and the note that's on the bottom, which in this case is E. And if it's in second inversion, you'd write C, capital C, slash G, because that's the note on the bottom. You don't even have to figure out, is E the third or the fifth? If it's the third on the bottom, is it first inversion or second inversion? You don't have to do any of that. You can skip it. You just say, oh, look, the root is not on the bottom. That means I write slash whatever note that's on the bottom, and then you're done.